there, Jamie here from the Center for Aligned Living. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. It's early, I have a lot to do today, as does everybody this time of the year. As I record this, we're just heading into December, so not only is it a wonderful time of the year, but it's a very busy time. We have been talking about slowing down and being present in the moment. Today, what I want to talk to you, a lot of the things that I talk about come from observing myself. So if I can, and sometimes it's a work in progress. I am a work in progress. So I'm hoping with today's video, I want to talk about anger and how you deal with your anger. And I'm hoping that through this video, maybe you can give yourself the gift of being less angry. It's not a pleasant feeling. It's not anything to be afraid of. It's just something to observe, okay? Anger is not bad. Anger is information, and it's just telling you that something in you, within you, your, not your inner being, alignment, God self, divine self, not that part of you, the other part, the whatever you want to call it, your pain body, your ego, your stories you're telling yourself, something that you're telling yourself. It's not in alignment with your inner being, okay? It's just like it's just showing you. It's showing you something you don't want, or that you don't like, and that's totally okay. So I noticed in myself here recently, I was getting a little bit more angry than I have been in the past. And so I had anger bubbling up inside me. And I'm like, what the hell, you know? So I was like, okay, it's time to do what you tell people to do, right? And see if we can't lessen the amount of anger that we have. Okay, so as I said, anger is not bad, it's information. What can be bad when it comes to anger, and I don't like using good, bad, but sometimes you just have to, your reactions. I don't like to label, but your responses, your reactions, you could act out in anger, and then there's hurt feelings, and we're all human, and, you know, if that happens, you can always, after you've calmed down and that's gone, you can address it. But we're talking about what you're doing if you're observing yourself with having anger bubble up often, okay? So for me, I noticed that I was having anger issues. She's got issues. So I decided to take a look at it, and I was like, okay, so when am I getting angry? Anger is a sign of control, wanting to control a situation. And so as soon as I put it in that perspective, I was like, instead of what am I angry about? Well, blah, 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 you know, I don't like the way they, or I don't like this, and it's like, anger is, you know, when you look at it as control, and then I started seeing, it's like, if you change it to control, it's like, control this, control that, and see where I'm pointing? It's external. And then what's our thing? What's our thing? You have no control over external events or circumstances, really. You know, people are going to do what they're going to do. Things are going to happen in the order that they're supposed to happen. We do have choice, okay? So I made the choice to sit down and say, okay, so I'm trying to control something that is completely out of my control. So who am I hurting? Hurting myself. So it's like, I kind of like was like, okay, well, dummy. I call myself a dummy. Just, you know, just move on. Just, okay, well, I don't like that. That's not reasonable for me to even put that expectation on somebody else and then to get mad about it, as an example. So it really helped me, you know, by looking at, observing the anger, and, you know, feeling it and going, okay. This is what's happening within me. It's not in alignment with who I am, okay? And I can't do anything about that. What I can do is what's here, okay? And you too. We have the power of choice. And we can take responsibility for any emotion that we have, good, bad, right, wrong. We can be neutral. We should just look at it as information. And I know I keep saying good, bad, right, wrong, and I try to be neutral, but in talking with you about this, it's easy to say, to label. And I do try not to label or judge, and might have a whole another conversation about that next week, because we're human, and you may be a spiritual guru, you may be an enlightened soul, and you can still have reactivity. I was reading a book this weekend, and yeah, it was this weekend, and it pointed that out, that we have different levels, within us, and even though something on the base, your security, your sexuality, whatever, may not be, you may be kind of like not as healthy there, or not living to your true self in areas, and that's okay. You can still at higher levels have different levels of consciousness where things, you are a spiritual leader or whatnot. So everybody's like, how they fall from grace, how they fall from grace. It's like, well, because they just they're human. We're all human, and we all have these programs and expectations. Did I not just say I put expectations on people that they're never, ever, ever going to meet? And who does that hurt? Me. So we're human, and we're all just trying to learn here. Well, not everybody is, but I know that if you're watching this video, I have a feeling you're trying to learn something and to grow, both as a human and as a spiritual being. So, anger. It's information, okay? Just observe it. That's what I did. I'm like, when am I getting angry? Oh, okay. Control. Oh, go in a little bit deeper, right? What am I trying to control? Well, can I? No! Can't control anything except for yourself, okay? The way you feel, the way you respond, the way you think. You can certainly, through your actions and the way you live, you can influence. And I know that that's something when I catch myself kind of being catty or human or lower vibration, I try to say, this isn't what I want for my life going forward, even from this exact moment. I don't want that anger. So I want to live through example. So that's my entire focus, just go back to that, live by example. And I enjoy that thought process. It's a reminder of the life that I want to have, regardless of other people's opinions or beliefs or judgments. I can't really do anything about that. That's up to them, But I can be peaceful. I can have peace, even when I have discomfort, okay? Discomfort, information, observe, why. Oh, okay. Does that make sense? Does that not make sense? Well, what do I want? Remember? Is that in alignment with what I want? You'll know what resonates with you because it just feels better. If it feels better, then it's the direction that you're supposed to go, okay? So I would like for you, if at all possible, to start when you have discomfort, an emotion that's giving you discomfort, just observe it and be like, okay, well, what does this mean? What is this telling me? What don't I want here? What works for me? What doesn't work for me? Go back to what we talked about last week. We talked about describing your perfect day. And if it doesn't jive with the life that you're trying to create, then it's probably something that maybe you just have to handle something and then get back over to your path, your direction, your way. And a lot of people tell me they don't know what their way is. They don't know what their path is. And I honestly think we're all just here to return to love. Just that's our essence. That's our inner being, is one of love. And with all of these expectations and programming, we get lost and we think that we have to do all these other things, when really it's just simple. Yes, we have to pay our bills, but you certainly could do it in a more joyous way than grumping the entire way down the road, right? I've caught myself living like that, and I just have to constantly remind myself, what do I want? What is a life? And this is what you need to ask yourself. What is your perfect day? It's very detailed. And then you start to see your values. Oh, I need to be helpful. I need to be in service, right? Oh, I need to be creative. Oh, I need to have movement. So you just kind of go that direction. It doesn't have to be, we get detailed so that you can see what you want, okay? And then you can step back from it and be like, oh, okay, and I bet nobody on that list says, I want to be an angry, bitter human being who people are uncomfortable to be around. So that's why we're talking about anger today, because we all have it in us, and it's fine. It's completely fine. It's just information. And what are you going to do with it, right? It's telling you. It's telling you, hey, something is off. You're not in alignment. So what can you do within yourself to make a difference? For me, in that situation, there was nothing I can do about it externally. I choose to let that go, okay? It's still going to come up, but it has gotten better. And now I just remember this. I journaled it. So, I can even go back to it if I need to. I like to write. It helps me get things out. And I like to talk, too. Talking things out, but I don't really have very many people that I'm comfortable talking with about in great detail because, it's just, people don't always have your best interest in mind. And so, I'm cautious in regards to, I share a lot, but then again, it's just some things. If I'm just trying to work something out, I'll just journal it and write it down and I refer back to it, and it's really great. So in the future, if I'm feeling angry again and it's happening a lot, I'll just go through the same process, and I may even look back. And then sometimes when I'm feeling really good, I'll go back and look and go, oh yeah, and then I'll pat myself on the back. It's like I had some growth there, because that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm trying to help you do. We don't want to be grumpy. We don't want to be bitter. We want to be joyful. I don't know about you. I'm here to have a joyful life. Now, that doesn't mean, means different things to different people. And I've noticed that the more I live internally and aligned, the less I need a lot of crap and stimulus and whatnot to have joy. I can have joy sitting here right now, talking with you, looking out at my pepper tree, and every once in a while I see the dog go by, and that just brings me joy. And, there's clouds. Clouds bring me joy. It gets easier. Gets more simple. It gets, you just strip this other stuff down. Do I have things I want? Sure, absolutely, especially material things. Material things are fun, right? You can have fun with material things. But my life's happiness does not hinge on those. And I'm hoping that, if you're watching this, yours probably don't either. So, but maybe they do more so than, and maybe that's something that maybe you're uncomfortable with, and maybe you can look at it. Because, maybe you get angry because you don't have it. It's like, well, that's something I really want. Okay, great. That's something you really want. Well, how are you going to get it? Let's figure out how you're going to get it, right? How can you bring that into your life? And make a plan. So, just do yourself a favor. Give yourself the gift of looking at your anger and not being afraid of it and not reacting on it and being all reactive and, living externally, and just take a moment to step back from it. Go into your breath. Focus on your breath. If your mind's going 1,000 miles an hour, just stop what you're doing. Just, even if you have to be doing something, focus on your breathing. Just think about the breath coming in. Slow it down, and then exhale. Think about it. Feel it, and put your concentration completely on the inhale and the exhale. If you're thinking about something else, the mind slows down. okay? So just breathe. Just breathe. Then look at your, when you calm down a little bit, you can say, oh, well, what does this anger mean to me? What's causing it? And then go within and figure out, can you do anything about it? What is it that you want? And then narrow the gap, And if you can't do anything about it, accept that. There's going to be discomfort in life, and that's okay. It's everything is temporary, right? You may be living in a difficult situation right now, and it's harder to get past the anger, and I get that. But just remember, it is temporary, and keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on your perfect day. Keep your eye on where you want to go, okay? Not where you don't want to go, where you want to go. So you do things. You do things for other people. You spend time with friends and family. You read a book. You move your body. You nourish your body with healthy things. I know one thing I've been doing here lately is I've been doing less social media and more, it's funny, Pinterest, because it's the only thing I know, for creativity. And it's more positive for me, and I feel better. I think I've even mentioned that before with you guys. Just break your cycles, break your patterns. You can do it. You have a choice. Choice is your superpower, okay? And yeah, you're going to have some anger. You're going to have discomfort. But, it doesn't have to own you, okay? It does not have to own you, because you are love inside, and that's what we're trying to, kind of like help come out of you, all right? And we're humans, so there's going to be waves and cycles and this and that and circumstances, and so let's just keep working at it, all right? That's my promise. I'm going to keep working at it no matter what, and I know that that's what's right for me in my life, and thank you for sticking with me here. Kind of rambled, but I hope that you got something from this. Give yourself the gift of less anger. Just look at it, observe it, figure it, and then just move towards the life that you want, okay? Because I have a feeling it's not the bitter old biddy. Just, turn the boat around. Just, start kind of thinking, and you can't go. You can't do a 180 without, and don't be hard on yourself, because it's just, sometimes you can, but sometimes you can't, okay? So just baby steps, baby steps towards the direction you want to go, all right? Let me know if you need anything, and I will see you again here next week. And thank you. Just thank you so, so much. And I hope that you have, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you have really just the most wonderful week. All right. Thank you. Bye.